Hi, my name is Liz with B.Willow, and today I will be talking to you guys about succulents. So succulent is just an adjective. A lot of people think that it's a specific type of plant, but it's actually not. And basically it just means that the plant has evolved the ability to store water in its leaves or its stems, like something like this. And it doesn't necessarily rely so much on its roots to keep it hydrated. So succulents are really resilient. They're more native to drier, arid regions. So they've evolved the capacity to store water in their leaves and survive that way. So what's also really interesting about succulents is the way that they can reproduce. So a lot of succulents you can reproduce from a single leaf or a stem cutting. So they're really easy, durable houseplants as long as you have full sun. They do require a full day's worth of full sun. And in terms of water, it really depends on the year. So right now we're getting into springtime, so there's a longer duration of light throughout the day, and it's also getting warmer. So basically all of our plants are kind of waking up right now, and they're going to start taking advantage of the growing season that we're currently in. Today in this video, I will be showing you how to plant succulents into a container like this. This is just a repurposed Pyrex. So it doesn't have a drainage hole. So drainage is super important just in terms of airflow and making sure your root system doesn't get too wet, because it can rot if that happens. So I'll be showing you how to use different materials to create drainage layers. So the first step is going to be to add a thin layer of activated charcoal, basically so you thoroughly cover the bottom and you can't see through. And what this is going to do is act like a sponge, so it's going to pull any toxins that might build up. Activated charcoal is the exact same material that's in like a Brita water filter, so it just helps purify the closed environment that we're creating. So the next two materials, coarse sand and gravel, are going to act as our drainage layers. So we're going to do a thin layer of sand. And sand is drying, so what it's going to do is help pull moisture away, and what that's going to do is just help create a system of water moving throughout your container. Right, so we're going to add about an inch thick of gravel. So it's helpful to just take this and look at it at eye level and just make sure you have a nice, discernibly thick layer. So this is basically your reservoir for water to pool. So you're going to want to fill this at least a couple inches deep. I'm going to add a decent amount of soil. You can always take some out if you need to. So when you're unpotting your succulents, you want to just loosen the nursery pot like that and very gently pull it out and set that aside, and you're going to loosen up the root system. This is all about aeration, helping the roots get oxygen so they are nice and healthy, since there's no bugs, there's no worms, there's nothing that's really moving through the soil that's aerating the roots. All right, so next I'm going to create just a little divot for this to sit, and I'm going to use one hand to hold the plant steady. So you want to be really, really gentle with succulents. Like I mentioned before, they can reproduce from a single leaf, so they can break really easily. So just be very careful as you're handling them. So I'm just adding more soil all the way around the plant, and I'm just going to gently pack it down. So you might have noticed, I can show you on this next plant, just how shallow and bare the root system is. These are just really young little cuttings of succulents, so they're not super duper established, and the root system is just really minimal. So you do have to kind of do a little bit of work in terms of just getting it into place with enough stability added around it by adding that extra soil. So I like to do them kind of one at a time, making sure each plant individually feels stable before I add another plant, just so you can kind of more easily reach all the way around to add more soil. There's still, a decent wobble to these plants, and that's normal. These aren't going to really be rooted into this new home for a few months, really. So it's it's okay if that happens. So we love to decorate our succulent planters with natural materials like rocks or gemstones, or we use volcanic rock or even seashells. This is just the aesthetic that we really love to kind of give the sense that you're stumbling upon this little arrangement. It's not necessarily so heavily man-made, you know. So the rocks are actually beneficial too, because they're gonna just add a little bit more stability, something for the plants to lean on and get a little support from while they're growing and getting rooted in here. So I'm obviously doing this like pretty quickly for the sake of time, but we always recommend that people take their time while they're doing this. This may not be something you typically do every day, so it's a really nice opportunity to just take your time and almost view this as a form of meditation, where you're just letting your mind really just focus on this task at hand and not really anything else that might be causing you stress or worry. So it's definitely a nice opportunity to just have fun and relax. So there we go. We also love to just do like a little sand on top. It just gives it that like desert, arid feel. There we go. So in terms of care, you want to give your succulents as much full sun as you can. At least 6 to 8 hours of full, like direct sun is the best. If you do not give your succulents enough direct sun, what they'll do is actually start stretching. So if you notice just how kind of closely together these leaves are growing, if it was in need of more light, you would see much more space in between the leaves. And the plant itself would also fade in color. It won't be as vibrant. And the new leaves would be really small. So that's just a sign that it's maybe not getting enough sun. In terms of watering, you want to let the bulk of soil really dry before you fully re-drench the soil again. So like I was explaining before, this really depends on the seasons. In the winter time, your succulents are going to be more so dormant, so they're not really going to be doing too much growing, and because of that they won't really be using their resources as much as they will during the growing season, as in the spring and summer. So looking for wrinkling is a really good indication that the leaves are literally just not as filled out by water as much as they were when they had been watered earlier. So waiting for that slight wrinkle to occur is really the best way to tell that your succulents need water. Another common thing for succulents to do as they age is they drop their bottommost leaves. So some people freak out and think that their plants are dying, because most plants do this. As they grow in age, if they go through any stress, they're going to sacrifice their oldest leaves first to give more energy to their new growth. So that's what allows succulents to really develop more of like a woody stem. So you're noticing with this variety here that it does have more of that woody stem. So basically this is a cutting from an older plant that has had that time to really grow and drop its leaves to create that stem. Thank you for watching our video about succulents. Let us know if you guys have any questions. You can always email us at plantcare@bwillow.com, and we're happy to help you. Have a great day.